All right, well, going off to the next adventure, which is actually going to start right now. I've got everything loaded up, well, almost everything loaded up, and we're heading up the creek. So if you like seeing gold, like seeing people find it, and see how they're doing it, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe buttons. Doesn't cost you anything, and well, you'll get to see some more videos. Well, welcome back to the Black Sand Prospecting Channel. Made it back to the creek. This is a bit windy on the coast today, and I decided that this afternoon, and it was fairly late in the afternoon, that I'd load up the truck and head to the creek. I'm about an hour and a half, hour 40 minutes or so from the house, so I'm in a nice, calm, relaxing environment now. Temperature is nice. It might even be warm once or actually too warm, I should say, once I've put my waders on. But that's okay. I'll get in the creek and then my legs will be cold. It'll be fine. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and get everything unloaded and get started. All right. Well, you can see where I've kind of dug and then filled back in over here. That's my reclamation pile, and that is, well, it looks like somebody else has been digging there, but that's kind of where I've been digging. I'm just kind of going even with the wall here and just kind of working my way through these rocks. And that looks like it's really high, but it's not. It's about a foot up. I'll probably try and work through here as much as I can in the time that I have available. It's about a little after 5. It's about 5:20 actually, and it'll be getting dark about 8ish, and I have lights. So we'll just go until I don't feel like going anymore, or it gets too dark for me. Anyways, river or creek actually is down quite a bit. Now it was had a bunch of water over this before, and now it's just kind of mellowed out. So, anyways, at some point I'll start working down the creek a little bit or up the creek a little bit. But for now, I'm not going to leave gold to find gold, at least not for today. A short time to do this, so we're going to work this material in through here. Let me get the sluice set up, and then we'll get started. Well, it never seems to fail. Uh, I always forget something, and I'm pretty sure that almost everybody else does the same thing. Not every time, but almost every time. So, anyways, forgot lids for the buckets. So, any material that I end up taking home to go ahead and run through the cleanup sluice or pan out is going to have to just ride in the back of the truck as is. So, I'm going to take a sample pan just to make sure that this string of little flakes is still going. And I'll take it right in through here. I like using this so that I can get some of these big rocks, these cobbles, out of the way while I'm still standing up. It makes things a lot more comfortable. You have to excuse my voice. I'm either coming down with something or the mowing that I did yesterday, and this is what we're keeping our fingers crossed for, is the lawn mowing I did yesterday with the push mower. Something I don't normally do, normally use a riding mower, has affected my sinuses. Either that or I've got a sinus infection coming on or something. Could be a cold, but I'm really keeping my fingers crossed it's not. All right, we're getting down into some material that I could probably run through here. I believe that this is a pile. The part where I'm at right now, this part in here is actually part of tailings from either myself or somebody else. It's hard saying. Now we're using the little pan, so we might try a couple of pans. We'll just see here. Should grab my bigger pan, but I like this little black one here. You can see the gold in it a little bit better. Yeah, I might be digging on tailings. All right, let's see what we get here. Don't know if you can see me very well, but we'll see what happens here. What we don't want to see is a blank here. We've got stuff that's fine enough in there to where I'm pretty sure it's not completely somebody's tailings. And getting close to 6 here, I'm going to say we're probably going to run out of regular daylight to see some of this stuff really well soon. Do we come up with something? Well, I see a speck. All right, let me show you here. Oh, I can do this without washing it down. All right. See if I can find it again. Oh, nope, washed it down, darn it. All right, so from just some random stuff here, right up in the edge here. Yeah, let's see if I can find it. Oh, don't know if we can get that light just right. Oh, there we go. You can see it now. That one, right up in there. There we go. Right there. So there is a speck there, which is fine because that's right off the surface. So we'll get down a little deeper and go ahead and get some stuff run through the sluice box. Got both boxes set up here. First one in front here is a 6-inch and it's got pretty good flow through it, and the other one's a 10-inch. I'd like a little bit more water through the 10, but it's not horrible. It's definitely usable the way it is, though. Um, Starting to lose a little bit of daylight, which is fine. Keep the sun off of the guy that gets sunburned pretty easy. And I'm gonna run some material through there. Let's see what we get. At some point during this spring, early summer, we'll pretty much lose most of the water flowing through here, which means we'll have to find a different spot. But for now, there's still enough water just into early May here, unless we end up with some more rain. So let's get started on some material. All right, so it'll look like I'm digging into the side of the bank possibly, but I'm not. Just shearing off the end there, kind of making it even. Not supposed to dig into the bank, like into the bank, which I'd love to do, by the way, because this is old river channel. Uh, Probably a lot of gold in there, but no, no. All right, I'm using my big classifier again today. She's starting to look a little rough. I overhauled this end of it, made it shorter, but then didn't change the top out. It had one of these broken off. Well, now I've got another broken off, so I suppose I should have done that in the last time I overhauled it, but uh, I don't know. I'll fix it eventually when I can't use it anymore, probably. Go ahead and toss that over to the other bucket. Losing the end off of that. That was the hook for hanging it on the rack at the hardware store. There we go. Now I like to try and get this classified to about half, a little over half full. It's just too much for me to handle when it's totally full these days. I have learned my lesson. Maybe. Nice thing about getting water around the sides and on the bottom here and getting a lot more water flow through there is you really get these washed off pretty darn good. Add to my pile here. Now I'm sure there's some gold in here that is probably going to be big enough to make it through that. I mean, big enough to stay into that 1/4-inch mesh here that I've got, but I really don't see that happening anytime soon. Of course, I'm not predicting it, obviously. I'm not psychic. What I am going to say, though, is that I can go over that later with a metal detector at some point. Throw the big rocks. off to the side here after taking a quick look at them. Now a lot of this bank here is ready to kind of come down. So if it does, I wouldn't be surprised. That's where this pile came from in the first place. It's called nature. Oh, and gravity. So I'm kind of starting out to this outer edge and I'll work my way in. All right. Now I'm not a super rock hound, but I do like some cool looking rocks. So I look at them here and there just to make sure that I'm not missing something cool. I don't know if I've mentioned this or not, but this is actually an outside bend. But because of the gold rich material that's in this bank here, it's sloughing off down in. It doesn't get washed off so bad. Water is coming down this direction and hitting all this and just kind of washing it down. And if it's not so heavy that it pushes the gold out, it'll drop it down until you get to the clay layer. There is a clay layer here. I haven't hit it quite yet right this spot, but as I get in some, I'll probably get a little deeper and get into that. Big rock. Yep, that's big rock. Really big rock. There we go. Well, all right. Getting into some stuff that I really like. Some of that darker material. Got a little brown with it. Got a little clay with it. Well, let's go run this material through and see what we're getting. Hopefully we're getting a little something. Wash those big ones off. Hey now. Yeah. Little concretion there. That is a strange looking beast. I'm gonna toss that over to the bank. And if I remember, I'll take that home. I'll break that one up. That's about it for now. We'll run this through real quick. All right. Let's move you over to the sluice boxes. It's only about a third of a bucket, but I kind of want to see what's in there. There you go. I wonder if I can zoom in on that. Yeah, let's see what we can get out of that. I kind of like that little 6-inch sluice for this. It almost seems like that one caught more last time than the big one did. Might have also been because the big one was running so fast. All right, we'll let that run through. Clear out a little bit and see if there's any gold in it. Looks like I think we're doing all right. And it looks like the first scoop got us some gold. I'm gonna go grab a flashlight so I can see what I'm doing here. All right, one thing I failed to do and really didn't need to on this one because the design of this thing, but I like to try and get a brush here and make sure that our indicator mat is clean and bubble free, so we actually know what's going on. This is a parts brush. For those that don't know, I also have a automotive channel, an old car channel, that is Little Tin Cans. Anyways, do a little bit of hot rod stuff here and there, some miscellaneous other stuff. Anyways, let me go over to this one, clean it out as well, make sure there's no bubbles in the mat. All right. We'll run the scoop through there and see what we come up with right after I drop another one in the 6-inch. By the way, this flashlight I'm using is waterproof. It is one of the lights that I use for sniping. Yeah, we only got about a third of a bucket. The sun is shining right through here, though. That's kind of cool. Get it. Scoot through over here. This one might be the ticket today. Yeah, maybe not. I'm solely going by the indicator mat, it would be, but we get down inside there and we're running a little crooked. Let's see if that's a piece of shiny I see in there. Well, it's a little chunk of gold or a yellow rock. Hard saying. Yeah, I think it's gold. Yeah, that's a nice chunky bit. I think we have to drop that side of the sluice box down a little bit. Make sure this material runs through a little more even. How's that up there? That still looks good. Let's see, just a hair more flow through there. Clear a couple of these rocks out of here. There we go. That looks a little faster. I didn't have class wire. I could do right here. I probably didn't pull clear away out of this area. What's anything that? All right, back to this. Oops. What do we got? We still have that piece in there? Yeah, it's still in there, but I think it's just pebble. Oh, no. Hard sand. So let's go ahead and get a little bit more material running through both these things and stop gabbing. A little bit further. Yeah, but I'm seeing some nice little tiny chunks in there. That's awesome. How about this one? Yeah, get a few little specks. All right, enough goofing off. We got some gold that I can see. It's visible gold in the box, so let's go ahead and run this stuff. Keep on going. Time is wasting. All right, well, that is the 6-inch sluice. And as you can tell, she's starting to light up with gold. I've let that run through quite a bit, so there's not that much in the way of little tiny rocks, pebbles in the indicator mat. So hopefully that means that there's going to be a whole bunch more down in there. Because that indicator mat is actually, I'm going to take my glove off so I can control the camera a little better. That indicator mat is a little shallower than the one in the 10-inch. I'm going to move the camera here, see if you can see something in this bigger one. Aim you down here. And then aim the light. There's a nice little speck right there. It's actually pretty chunky. There's a bunch of them over on that side there. You can see those. That's just awesome. So anyways, I've still got another half bucket of material to run there. I did 2 of them at a time this time. And I'm also going to finish, obviously, getting what was left in that bucket out, because that's where all the good stuff is, right at the bottom at the end. All right, back to it. All right, well, it's getting to be dark 30. I've got 2 more buckets classified. That'll make a total of 6 partial buckets. A couple of them were less than half. A couple of them are more than half. So I'm going to say that's a total of 3 full buckets. We'll see what we get out of that. We know we've got gold. It's just a matter of how much. All right, ran those other 2 buckets. Let's go ahead and see what we got out of those. Total was about 3 buckets. I'd say there's a lot of shiny in there. We kind of lit up the box. That's pretty awesome. All right, and then the big box. We got some nice shiny pieces in there. A couple of those are little chunks of gravel. But we've got gold all the way up the line here. We've got gold in the top going down through here. And we even got a piece right there. That one's actually kind of a chunky one right there. I'm talking that one. I also have, if we can get, there we go, kind of something different, something I don't normally get. And that is a piece that is swirling around. There we go. See it? Ha ha! We might have a piece or two actually in the mat, which means that there's some bigger pieces because they passed the either that or they're flakier, one of the two. But I'm going for bigger. That's what we're hoping for. Anyways, all right. So time for the cleanup. We'll go ahead and get these things emptied out into some buckets. Got our buckets there, all kind of washed out, all the previous material out of there. Hopefully there's some in the mats is there and into that mat there, because we know there's some in the indicator mats on both of them. All right, here we go. I need to wash my gloves off so I can get that screen cleaned a little bit. Gloves are filled with clay-like material. All right. Good thing that waterproof. All right, get you positioned there. When you hear that noise, that's me blowing water off of the off the camera. Well, I believe that the water on the back side from my gloves, back side of this camera here, made the camera stop. But anyways, there's some gold in there. Look at that. That's painted with the 5-gallon bucket. So now that we know that there's stuff in there, let's take it home. All right, so reclamation. I started over there and kind of worked my way across here. And as I go into here, I put my tailings to the left. So I'm working my way to the right. So that's basically where I stopped today. And I've been putting this everything. There's really not that much left here. There's just a little bit, couple feet of area right here that I would work, and then after that, it's pretty much done. So I don't think I'll even have this video out until after I get that done. Well, we're back at the black sand kitchen. Got that material all cleaned up, and it's time for a snuffer dump. Normally what I do is just go ahead and pop this little tube out here. We'll just leave it out altogether. Yeah, that's a fair amount of gold. Looks pretty clean in there. Now, stick this back in here. We will suck up the excess water so that we don't have to try and cook all that off. All right, we can give it a little heat here. Yeah, it's got quite a bit there. I was hoping for a 1/4 gram, and well, some of that stuff is pretty flaky, but I don't know about that. Maybe 0.16. What do you think it's gonna be? Leave a comment. Look at this water right here. All right, that's all gone. Oops, getting gold everywhere. I'm gonna have to get that. Got the gold cooled off a little bit here. Got it all lined up for some paper. Let's go ahead and turn the scale on here. And we'll tear it out just to make sure. All right. Let's go ahead and give it a little pour here. Like I said, my guess is 0.18. Well, 0.13. That's close. Oh, 1.5. We're going with 0.15. No, maybe not. 0.13 again. All right, well, that's it. Still, that's, a fair amount of gold for only having a short period of time to do that. That's 3 buckets worth. We need to find something that's a little richer than that, but it is cool to see the gold. So that's cool. By the way, I'm going to add this to the previous gold that we've gotten from this spot the last couple times. Yeah, didn't even spill any. What a deal. Yeah, there's some gold in there. All right, later. Till next time, thanks for watching.